Hey, so this is for anyone out there who's ever felt completely adrift, just totally uncertain or lost in your own life. If you're looking for a different way to look at that whole experience, you've definitely come to the right place. Let's start by kind of tearing down how we usually think about our lowest moments. I just want to start with this one question. It's a pretty bold idea, isn't it? That the moment you feel the most broken, the most confused, that it might not be an ending at all, but actually the start of something really, really powerful. We're going to dig into what that actually means. Okay, so first things first, let's just talk about the feeling itself. Because before we can shift our perspective on it, we have to get real about how isolating and, well, how awful it can feel. It's so much more than just being sad, It's this weird kind of disorientation. It's that feeling of standing right in the middle of your life, looking around and not recognizing any of it. Like you're doing all the things you're supposed to do, but the why is just gone. And oh man, this is such a huge part of it today. You're struggling with this messy, complicated internal stuff, and then you pick up your phone and just scroll through these perfect, shiny highlight reels of everyone else's life. It makes you feel like you're the only one who doesn't have it all figured out. And that just makes everything feel 1,000 times worse. So this really breaks it down. That feeling of being lost, it basically lives in the gap between these two columns. On one side, you've got who you actually are, your real feelings, the fact that you've maybe outgrown who you used to be. And on the other side, that's who you think you're supposed to be, the life that looks good on paper, what everyone else expects, the plan you made years ago. That chasm between the two, that's where that lost feeling comes from.
But what if this feeling isn't what we think it is? This next part is all about reframing this whole experience, seeing it not as a problem, but as something else completely.
This right here is the absolute key. The old story, the one we automatically tell ourselves, is that feeling lost means we failed, we messed up. But the new story, the one we're going to explore, says something totally different. It says feeling lost isn't failure, it's a signal. It means you're not breaking down, you're waking up.
So what is this signal exactly? Well, it's basically your entire being telling you that something has to change. It's this powerful push out of your comfort zone. I mean, comfort is nice for just coasting along, but it's a terrible place for growth. This signal, this is where real transformation begins.
And let's be totally honest with ourselves. This whole process is not fun. Real growth usually shows up disguised as loneliness, uncertainty, and a whole lot of doubt. It's basically stripping away all the stuff that's not really you, so you can finally see what's actually important underneath it all.
Okay, so if we accept that this feeling is a signal, then what do we do? How do you actually respond? Well, it's not about coming up with some grand 5-year master plan overnight. It's all about the power of making really small shifts, both in your mindset and in your actions. This is our go-to question when things get hard, right? Why me? But this question, it just keeps us trapped. We start looking for someone or something to blame, we feel like a victim, and we just spin our wheels in frustration.
Now just look at the difference here. By changing one little word, you completely change your role in the story. You go from being a passive victim to an active student. This question opens the door to actually learning something from the struggle, to finding some meaning in it.
And this is how you start to move. But notice the order, because it's probably the exact opposite of what you'd expect. It's not get clear then act. No, it's the other way around. You just start with one tiny action, something manageable. Go for a walk, make one phone call. That little step creates a tiny bit of momentum. And it's from that momentum, that's where clarity starts to finally show up.
This just drives the whole point home. We're all taught to wait until we feel sure, until we're confident, before we make a move. But in moments like these, that's a trap. You don't need to see the entire staircase. You just need to take the next step. Action builds confidence. Action builds clarity. Waiting builds, well, nothing. So, where does all this lead? This journey isn't about finding your way back to where you used to be. Not at all. As we're about to see, it's about building a brand new path. This is such a huge shift in how we think about this. The goal isn't to find the old you. That person, that version of you, was built on ideas that just don't work anymore. This whole process is about letting that old version fall away to make room for someone stronger, someone more real to come through. And these are the things that get forged in the fire of all that uncertainty. When you learn to navigate the unknown, you build resilience. When you choose your own voice over all the noise, you find authenticity. And when you see yourself get through it,
One small step at a time, you earn this deep, unshakable self-trust. And as we wrap this up, I really want you to hear this. Even though this whole thing can feel incredibly lonely, you are not the only one. Right now, there are countless people all over the world quietly fighting these same internal battles, asking these same questions. It's a silent, shared human thing.
So the final thought I want to leave you with is this. What if feeling lost isn't a sign that you've wandered off your path? What if this entire experience, the confusion, the searching, the rebuilding, is the path? The exact one that's leading you to a life that is finally and truly your own.